Good evening, everybody. Welcome to episode 6 of At Home with the Vicar. I'm just going to take it slowly for a moment. I'm just trying to make sure the internet is stable. I've got one or two issues, but I think let me press on. On the live chat, I can see Audley has checked in. Ruth Hodson, Felicia, happy bank holiday, everybody. Yes, indeed. It's a bank holiday. Strange to have a bank holiday on Friday at the beginning of May. We'll be thinking about the reason why the bank holiday has been moved to Friday rather than the first Monday in May as it normally is. Welcome to At Home with the Vicar. This is the 6th episode of At Home with the Vicar, the 6th Friday since we have been meeting together in this way. I think today is going to be the final final episode of At Home with the Vicar, not because I'm expecting lockdown to completely come to an end next week, but I think 6 is a good number, and we'll think of some other way of communicating. But we're going to have a bit of fun today. We're going to continue to interact. Welcome to Alicia, Kaz, Epi. Nice to see you all. Thank you for signing in. I hope you're getting good reception. My internet is just a little bit unstable today, but I think we're getting there. I'm going to press on, and hopefully you will be able to see. Let me just see if I can adjust that. There we go. Okay, I'm going to come a little bit nearer to the screen just in case there's any hearing or visual issues. Peter, welcome to you. Welcome to the whole church, the whole community. As you can see, you are represented here by our studio audience. One church member sitting quietly there in the back. He's featured before. Well, we've had a bit of fun over these last 6 episodes of At Home with the Vicar. If you've been tuning in every Friday since we began, you'll know we've had some quizzes, some dingbats. We've done some cooking. A couple of weeks ago, I made pancakes, chocolate pancakes, crêpe au chocolat. If you missed the recipe, go back and have a look. Then we looked at some naan bread, how easy it was, just a bit of yogurt and flour. And then last week, I made mushrooms and pasta. Those of you who've tuned in, particularly for culinary cooking skills, you will not be disappointed today. We have one final recipe which will help you get through these challenging days of lockdown. But as well as learning a bit about cooking, having a bit of interaction with one another, we've also been able to make a song. I want to thank you for those who took part in the musical project. It was a big thing for many of you to go, take your courage in your hand, to sing, to record it, and then to send it to me. And hopefully you saw that on the Saturday, we put up the result of our musical project. One Man Went to Mow, and we had several people involved. Welcome to Emma Camp, tuning in all the way from Goma, the Democratic Republic of Congo, right in the middle of the continent of Africa. Emma, Jambo, Habari Gani. That's hello, how are you in Swahili? Okay, congratulations on the musical project. It was an amazing success. Many of you had never sung in public before, never sung in a sort of collaborative exercise like that. And I think we have grown in confidence by singing together. And extraordinarily, it has gone viral. 137 people have already watched our song, One Man Went to Mow. 137. A lot of churches got together and sang a blessing for the whole nation. I'm sure many of you will have seen it. It's called The Blessing. Churches around Britain praying God's blessing on the nation. That's been watched 1.7 million times. So we're not far behind that. 137 plays 1.7 million. Get your friends to watch 10 Men Went to Mow, and we'll catch up with them, I'm sure. Okay, so we've achieved a lot together. We've learned to cook, we've communicated, we've talked, we've had some fun. We've even had a few attempts at phone calls, and we've sung together. Those of you who have been following our Lion, the Witch and the Wardrobe, normally we put that up at 5 o'clock. Let me just remind you that on Friday, today, it's up at 6 o'clock. So it is coming. We've had chapter 11. Tonight is chapter 12. No, I've known this story for years and years, but I'm so excited. As I've read it, I'm so excited with where we've got to. Chapter 11 left me hanging, and I had to immediately upload chapter 12. That will be live on YouTube or as live at 6 o'clock this evening. And then chapter 13 tomorrow, chapter 14 on Sunday. That one. And then chapter 15 is unbelievable. And then chapter 16, 17, we finish on Wednesday. If you've missed, go back. You can catch up. If you've missed all of them, go back to chapter 1 and take it from the beginning. And you can listen to them and catch up with the whole story. Narnia, The Lion, the Witch and the Wardrobe, a story everybody, children, young people, adults, everybody should listen to that story. So as I say, if you've missed it, go back and catch up. Okay, so that's a quick recap of where we've been on At Home with the Vicar. We've done some cooking, we've done some music. Today, as Felicia says, happy bank holiday, everybody. Why is today a bank holiday? That's my first question. What is today all about? Anyone on the live chat? The internet may be going a bit slowly today, but anybody who has who's able to get on the live chat, why is today a bank holiday? Normally the first Monday in May is sort of Labour Day, a day in honour of the workers. And Emma, straight away, the internet's working well in Goma, VE Day. Okay, Emma says the bank holiday is called V-Day, VE Day. What does VE stand for? Okay, Rita's got there as well, but VE, what's it mean? It could stand for... Felicia says VE Day, but what does VE stand for? VE Day. It could be. I'm trying to think what it could stand for. It could stand for Valiant X. It could stand for Vanishing Elephants. Is it Vanishing Elephants Day? No. What does VE Day stand for? Anybody? See all these people who are quick to tell me VE Day, but none of them know what it stands for. What does... Aha, Felicia, Veteran of Europeans. Well, that's a good one. That does spell VE. So does Vanishing Elephants. What does Ruth Hodgson has got the V? Well done, Ruth. Victory. Something to do with victory. What is VE? Victory in Europe Day. Thank you. We got there. The Second World War was 1939 to 1945. VE Day, Victory of Europe. It's really victory in Europe, I think. It's the war didn't quite come to an end on VE Day. It went on for a few more months, I think, up to August, and there was VJ Day, Victory in Japan Day. But in many ways, the 8th of May, 1945, was really the day when people knew that's the end of that. Yes, there's still the war in Japan to finish off, but basically victory has been assured. Hitler had taken his own life a week or so before, and the German forces surrendered, and they said the war is over, and victory was celebrated. Maybe if you watch the television today, you'll see pictures showing where people went out on the streets. They were partying, they were singing, they were dancing, they were hugging each other, and they were saying it's all over. A patient says, Ruth, you must be better at African history, hey? Okay. So it's about the end of the Second World War. So we're going to start with a few dingbats on the Second World War. Okay, just to remind you, if you're tuning in for the first time, a dingbat is a little words or pictures which indicate something. And all of these, I've only got 3. They're all to do with something to do with military, something to do with the Second World War. Okay, here is the first one. You can tell me what this dingbat might stand for. And it's something which is connected to the Second World War. Okay, I'm going to put it up for a moment. Here's number 1. Something or someone connected to the Second World War. Somebody or something we associate when we think about the Second World War. What does this represent? Now, I don't know if I'm not getting any reply because it's very, very difficult. I have to say I thought this one up myself, or whether the internet live chat is a little bit slow. Hodgson, yes, 1 to the Hodgsons, straight in. Churchill, in it? Churchill. Okay, Winston Churchill was the Prime Minister. Chester's got Churchill, Effie's got Churchill, House has got Churchill. First one which came up on my timeline as Ruth Hodgson. Okay, Winston Churchill was the Prime Minister of England, of Britain, and was the leader of the country. Okay, here's another one. This is a military one, but something which is connected. This is slightly easier, I think, if you know your military stuff. Okay, what is this one? That spells something. Okay, what do we get here? Little dingbat, and I'm going to give you any clue on this. I can read it for you if you're a little bit slow on reading. It says Victoria going down, and then horizontally it says Victoria. Patience and Nandi are there. Victoria Cross. Oh, it's Victorian. I think it's called the Victoria Cross, as Ruth has got there. Okay, the Victoria Cross is a medal you get for incredible valour and bravery, particularly in war. Okay, the final one. How many of you have been in the army? If you've been in the army, you will probably get this one. Okay, here we go. What does this say? It says quick march. The answer isn't quick march. Let me just check what the answer is. Oh, yes, I got it. Okay. The answer obviously isn't just quick march. What could it be? This one's slightly more, let me come this side, slightly more subtle. But if you've been in the army, if you've been a soldier, or if you've seen any films about soldiers, you would possibly get this. Something, okay, it says quick march, but what else do we notice about the way it's been put? We had Churchill, we had the Victoria Cross. Felicia says, I think the network is really slow. Yeah, I'm sorry, it's slowed down a bit. Here we go. Epi says, on the left, quick march. Okay, the answer I've got is by the left, quick march. I'm going to give you that, Epi. I'm going to give that to Epi. By the left, quick march. That's what they say. The soldiers line up, and then the sergeant major says, by the left, quick march. Left, right, left, right, left, right, left, right. All that. Okay, well done, Epi. Okay, well done, Epi. Stay with me. If you are looking at our morning YouTube episode this morning, every morning we try and put up a little encouraging word, and we've had some great ones actually. If you like art, make sure you tune in on Wednesdays. Caroline's done some extraordinarily stimulating and interesting reflections from some works of art. But Effie has been our constant encouragement through singing. Almost every morning she gives us a song, and she's kept us in good spirits. John was in the TA. I think that means the Territorial Army. Yeah, Patience says the Thompsons had an advantage. Okay, Sergeant Major John Thompson at the march, Thompson, and get that haircut. That's what they would have said when he was in the army, and so he did. Okay, back to Epi. Epi's played an amazing role in our YouTube channel. This morning, if you tuned in this morning, she sang. She normally sings some hymns of praise, uplifting songs, reminding us of God's promises, reminding us what God is like. But this morning, she opened our morning reflection with the words of, "We'll meet again. Don't know where, don't know when." And it's a song which was made famous by a lady called Vera Lynn. Vera Lynn sang that through the Second World War, and she was the forces' sweetheart. She kept them in good morale, and she kept the nation hopeful. We will meet again. We don't know where, we don't know when. Now, in some ways, that's what we're saying, isn't it? We will meet again in our church building. We don't know where. Well, we do know where. It will be the church. We don't know when. That's more the question. We do know where. We could sing, "We'll meet again." We do know where, but we just don't know when. And Epi sang that this morning. So if you missed that, go back after the show and you can hear her singing that. But it was a song made famous by Vera Lynn. He has kept our spirits up through singing, just as Vera Lynn kept the spirits of the nation up during the war. So I'm going to give you a couple of quiz questions. And the first one is about Vera Lynn. Vera Lynn was the singer, the forces' sweetheart, the one who kept singing, the one who sang, "We'll meet." I'm not going to sing. A lot of people ask me not to sing. A few people asked me to sing, but most asked me not to sing, so we won't sing. We'll meet again. Vera Lynn is still alive today. How old is Vera Lynn? How old is Vera Lynn? This is my first quiz question. Number one, put it up on the live chat if you're able to. Felicia says there's some problems on the live chat, but if you've got access to it, how old is Epi? No, not how old is Epi. Well, you can tell me how old Epi is if you want. But my question is, how old is Vera Lynn? Okay, first answer's coming from Jess, who says 93. And I want to say, higher, higher. Kaz says 102. I want to say, higher, higher. Buffon says 95. Well, that's obviously higher if it's higher than 102. The patient says 96. No, higher, higher. Vera Lynn is still going strong today. I think she's singing tonight with Catherine Jenkins. Jess has got 103. A lot of people get Leandra 150. Yeah, nice one. 103 is the right answer. Vera Lynn is 103. And I think tonight you'll see her on the television singing. I think they're using Zoom or WhatsApp or something. She and Catherine Jenkins are singing together. Felicia says 105. Sebastian says 103. Sebastian, yes, same age as you. Oh, no, not quite. Okay. Second question. Let's go to the war. Times were hard in the war. Primarily, we think about the soldiers who served out in the trenches, in the front line, on the battlefield. But it was also tough for people living at home. There was rationing. You know what rationing is? Some of the children tuning in may need to know what rationing means. It means you couldn't get everything in the shops. And if it's there in the shops, they would say you can only have one bag of flour or one pint of milk. And there were ration books. Food was scarce. There wasn't enough to go round, so you couldn't take too much. One or two shops these last few months have been saying you can only buy a certain number of toilet rolls. Toilet paper was rationed amongst the soldiers. Here's my quirky quiz question for today. If you were a soldier in the Second World War, how many pieces of toilet paper were you given each day? Not how many rolls, how many pieces of toilet paper? A soldier had how many toilet paper pieces of paper per day? So imagine you're a soldier out in the war and your commanding officer says, at the left or by the left, quick, march. And then you get your patience is there. Patience is there. 3 sheets. Yep, I kid you not. 3 sheets of toilet paper per soldier per day in the Second World War. Okay. Let me stay with rationing. The war came to an end, as we know, in 1945. 75 years ago today, VE Day. Oh, Ruth is saying 2. Kat is saying 4. Felicia's saying 5. Patience is right. Just 3 sheets of toilet paper. Okay, Patience has got a little bit more into details. One for the morning, one for the afternoon, one for the evening. Okay, maybe it's up to you how you use them. Anyway, let's not get into any more toilet humour or any more detail. Rationing. The war came to an end in 1945. In Europe, on the 8th of May, in Japan, in August. But it didn't mean that things immediately got better. Rationing continued for a while. What year did rationing come to an end? That's my question in this wartime quiz. What year did rationing come to an end? Okay, the war ended in 1945. We don't have rationing. Okay, as I said, we have a little bit of rationing through this COVID-19 pandemic, but not real rationing. When did the rationing system come to an end? I don't know if there's any older people tuning in at the moment. The answer, Jess has got it right. 1954. Bang on. 1954. So it took 9 years. Who thought it would be just 4 years? Sebastian thought it would be 6 years. 1954 is the right answer. It took 9 years before things got back to normal. That's quite sobering, isn't it? People were dancing in the street on VE Day, but actually it was going to take a while before things really settled down. Patient says we read our history buff. Oh, we need our history buff Caroline today. Okay. If you looked at this morning's YouTube episode, as I said, you would have had Epi singing "We'll Meet Again," etc. She was the Vera Lynn song. Also featured on that episode was somebody who was born in Kennington, born on Kennington Oval, born in the house next door to me, the old vicarage, and I've got him here. Who is this man? Anyone, this is an easy question if you saw this morning's episode, but who do I have sitting next to me making a special guest appearance here on At Home with the Vicar? He's a man who was at home with the Vicar because he was born with the Vicar. He was born in the vicarage, the old vicarage of St. Mark's. What is this man's name? Okay, Ruth says Lord Montgomery. Epi's a bit more familiar. Monty. I don't think he was actually Lord. I think he was. His full name was Field Marshal. I ought to have got this right. He was Field Marshal Sir Bernard Montgomery. Oh no, he was a Lord. I think you're right. Yes, he was. He was Montgomery of Alamein. Anyway, this gentleman, Bernard Montgomery, was the leader not just of the British Army, but of all of the Allied forces, all those countries which were on Britain's side. He was the leader of the Allies, and he was born in St. Mark's Vicarage, as I say, next door. He was born on the 17th of November, 1887, and I showed his statue this morning on our morning episode when Epi was singing We'll Meet Again. So here is our man Monty. He came from Kennington. He grew up the first 2 or 3 years of his life in the garden, which I'm looking out on now. He would have come to St. Mark's Church as a baby, as a toddler. So we in Kennington provided the leader of the nation, at least military of the nation. And here is Montgomery. I don't think it's still happening, but there was a fashion years back of what they called Toby jugs. This was a Toby jug. So people who were great fans of Monty could sort of pour their water or have their drinks out of him. He visited St. Mark's as a field marshal. Here he is with the vicar. The vicar was called Wallace Bird. There he is visiting St. Mark's in the 1950s. And he opened the church hall next door to the vicarage, Montgomery Hall. It's not named after the field marshal, it's named after his father, who was the vicar. So the hall is named after the vicar, who went on to be a bishop. I think we mentioned that last week. But here is Monty in Kennington after the war. Okay, so I've got a couple more pictures of Monty to show you. We've got some great pictures of him here. There's him with his medals. I've got a few other photographs. Here we've got Monty with the Prime Minister, Winston Churchill. Here's Monty in the middle, and he signed it. And here he is. I wonder if anyone knows. There's Monty there. Here he is with the King. So, great pictures there. One more signed picture of Monty. We have a family member who knew Monty when she was very young. My mother-in-law, her father worked with Monty, and that's why we've got some wonderful signed photos. But here he is, our man from Kennington, coming back as a local boy made good to open the Montgomery Hall. Okay. So he's probably the most famous person to have come out of Kennington and gone on to serve the country in an extraordinary way. Bastian says, isn't that somebody else's birthday? Not quite. It's he was born the 17th of November. My birthday is the 16th of November. I'll say that again. My birthday is the 16th of November. Time to start saving. Okay, now it's been a feature of At Home with the Vicar the last few weeks that we've done some cooking together. I showed you how to make chocolate pancakes, au chocolat. I showed you how to make naan bread or naan bread. You remember we talked about Mark living at home with his mum, maybe with his nan. And then last week we said lockdown. When we come out of lockdown, we will need mushroom. We will need mushroom. We will need mushroom. And I said, what can we do with mushrooms? And we made some garlic and mushroom pasta together. My final bit of cooking is really easy today, but it comes from the Second World War. It was a recipe which appeared in the Second World War rationing cookbook. One of the things which was rationed in the Second World War was the egg. The ration was each adult could have one egg a week. That was it. Now, some of you may not like eggs and say that's fine, but lots of people were devastated. One egg a week, like at least one egg a day, 2 eggs a day. So 1 egg a day was the ration. And in the cookbook, it said what you could do with eggs. And they also, in the Second World War, made something called egg powder. You don't really see it. I don't think you see it in the shops at all today. But they made powder. It was something which was a sort of egg substitute. And they said, if you've got egg substitute, you can pretend to have an egg in the same way as you might have an egg. If you've got it, you could do this. Okay. What we're going to do today is quite simply show you a recipe which appears in the war rationing cookbook, and it's called, there's a bit of controversy whether it's called egg in a nest or egg in a basket. There's an episode of Friends where Joey makes egg in a basket. Egg in a nest, egg in a basket. I think in the war they called it egg in a nest. Egg in a basket, maybe a more, perhaps it's an American development if it's in Friends, who knows. But it's dead simple. Let's go together to our kitchen. Let's put Monty there so we don't break him. Okay, so here's I'm going to slightly. There we go. We've got the pan. We've got the pan cooking nicely, and what I'm going to do is I'm going to put some butter in the frying pan to start warming. Now, over here, I've got my breadboard. I'm going to put it down like that so you can see. And I've got a piece of bread. Here's a piece of bread. And what we do is, like a glass, and we put it there, and we try not to push it straight through. I don't really want people cheating by using bagels or bagels, whatever they're called, which have already got a hole in. What we need to do is to cut out the circle. Okay, can we? By the way, boys and girls watching at home, I did wash my hands and sanitize them. Forgot to tell you how to do that. Okay, there we are. We've got a lovely bit of bread. So we are making sure this is nice and buttery in our frying pan. There we go. And I'm just going to drop the bread in there. Okay. So I think you can see that okay. And this little bit we can keep once everything's cooked. And then we take our egg. Now, there's 2 ways you can do this. You can either just drop the egg straight in, or you could put it in a cup and stir it up more like an omelette type of thing. Okay, so as I say, this is probably not needing as much culinary skill as we needed for the pancake or for the naan bread or even for or especially not for the mushroom pasta. I've sort of gone for an easier option today. So anyway, it's cooking away nicely. I met somebody this week who said they didn't have an oven. And so all the things I've been doing are suitable for making simply on a little electric plate, a little electric hob like this. So even if you don't have an oven, all of the things which I've been cooking on at home with the Vicar are perfectly accessible. We do have an oven, but I couldn't bring it in here. Many of you will know that my favourite way of cooking is actually a barbecue, and that's coming soon. Let me just remind you, that day is coming. As Vera Lynn sang, as Epi sang, we'll meet again. It will be over a barbecue. We just don't know when. I think that was one of the verses. Okay, so can you see this is coming along nicely? As if I've never quite managed to put the cooker on in time. Okay, I'm going to bring this down here so you can see this bit, because this is the bit which takes a bit of careful planning. So we go like that, and then we just drop the egg in there. There we go. Can you see that? Look at that. There is the egg in the nest. Egg in a basket, in a nest. Okay, let's put that over there. Okay, there we go. There we go. Put that over there. That's cooking nicely. Let's just give that a minute. I'll keep talking while that's there. Okay, can you see that? There we go. Let's have a look. Look at that. There we go. Egg in a nest, egg in a basket. A recipe which really dates back to really becoming really popular in the Second World War, because even with egg powder, they could do this. They would put the egg powder in, mix it up with a bit of water or milk. But you know, as well as being a tasty snack, I really love food which has got funny names, like toad in the hole. Anyone know what toad in the hole is? What about pigs in blanket? Can you think of any other funny named food? But wouldn't it be great if you had a whole menu? Starter, egg in a nest. Main course, toad in the hole. Side dish, pigs in blankets. What other animals, what other funny names have we got for food? Toad in the hole, pigs in a blanket, egg in a nest. Okay, lots of people are complaining about the internet. Becca's saying bubble and squeak. I don't know if she's talking about the sound coming out of the internet. Okay, apologies for the internet. It's a problem, isn't it, in London? The broadband is not that great. But anyway, let's persevere. Maybe you'll be able to watch it back, and maybe it'll be stronger. Okay, so what am I doing here? I am just trying to help you understand how to make egg in a nest, egg in a basket. Here we go. Shepherd's pie. Very good, Kaz. Very good. Shepherd's pie. Sometimes people say, is shepherd's pie made with real shepherds? Okay. I have just turned over the egg in a basket, or egg in a nest, and that's great. And as I say, some people like to put the lid of the basket back on. Look at that. That's cleverly done, isn't it? And of course, with all our food, it's always good to season it with a little bit of salt, not too much salt, not good for the heart, the blood pressure. But pepper, I think, have as much pepper as you want. Can't go wrong with pepper. There we go. Look at that. Okay. There we go. Eggs Benedict. That's a great name, isn't it? Eggs Benedict. Welsh rabbit or Welsh rabbit. Yeah, great ideas of funny food names coming up. There we go. Look at that. Look at that. I just want to hold that there for a minute. Isn't that extraordinary? That just looks good enough to eat, doesn't it? Okay. Okay. That's my dinner sorted out. As I say, the reason I'm doing egg in a nest or egg in a basket is because it was a popular World War II snack, even with the rations. It was a treat, really, because if you only had one egg a week and you thought, what am I going to do? What am I going to do with my one egg? It would make you really appreciate it, wouldn't it? And you think, well, we'll make it a bit special, and we'll put it in a nest like that. Okay, so let's put that over there. I shall eat that a little bit later. Okay, we are going to draw things to a close. As I said, I think 6 episodes of At Home with the Vicar has worked well. As I say, we need to hold on to our achievements. We've made a song. 10 Men Went to Mow. Cracking song. Well done, all of you. We've learned how to cook. We have thought about 1 or 2 things. We've been able to keep in touch, even with the difficulties of the internet. Let's see. Patience is saying, what would they do with the rest of the bread they cut out? Hope they don't chuck it. No, put it back on again. Put it back on again. Nothing is wasted. I'm going to be winding things up in a few moments. Any questions anyone would like to ask me? A quiz question? Anything you'd like to ask the studio audience behind me? Anything you'd like to know about our church program? Let me, as I'm just waiting to see if there's any questions or comments, let me just remind you. Lion, the Witch and the Wardrobe, chapter 12, 6 o'clock tonight. 5 o'clock tomorrow, chapter 13. Sunday, 5 o'clock, chapter 14. As I say, if you tune in for 14, make sure you're back for 15. If you've missed them, as I say, you can go back and catch up. They're all there, quite easy to find. Let me just say something about the, I think it's called the thumbnail. When you see the the episodes, it will say The Lion, the Witch, and the Wardrobe, Chapter 1, Chapter 2, whatever. The first 8 episodes, I used the picture from the church, stained glass window of the Lion of St. Mark, the Lion of Aslan. The last few episodes, you'll notice I've changed the picture from the Lion of St. Mark from the church because I was sent in a beautiful picture. Let me just thank Nandi. That picture of the lion in The Lion, the Witch, and the Wardrobe, the thumbnail was done by Nandi. And Nandi, thank you. Your picture is there and is the thumbnail, the sign of Narnia. It is such a great picture of Aslan. So I'm really grateful to Nandi. Nandi's blushing and hiding. Nandi, stand up tall and take the credit. Lots of you sent in pictures of rainbows, which we used in our Sunday service. I think we've got some more this Sunday. Holly, Freya, terrific. Sebastian did the one with the food, the peppers, the grapes, and all of those things. Really imaginative rainbows. Some of you, as I said, were featured on Sunday. We will have a few more coming Sunday. So anytime you send me in anything, Kaz sent in a beautiful rainbow. Kaz, yours is going to be featured on Sunday too. So if you send me anything in, we will use it at some stage on our YouTube channel. I want to thank you for being part of At Home with the Vicar. I want to thank you for tuning in on these 6 Fridays. We're not quite sure what we're going to do, but we think it was right just to leave you wanting more. Sometimes it's good to go out while people are still wanting it rather than it coming to an end. So we thought we'd do 6 episodes of At Home with the Vicar. And sometime next week, we will let you know of some other bit of fun, interactive program that we'll have. We're still having top-level discussions with the hierarchy of the YouTube channel. The TV directors are meeting, and we will work out what we're going to do. So don't worry about Fridays. Keep tuning into The Lion, the Witch, and the Wardrobe, and keep listening to the songs and the reflections we give as Epi was singing. We're not going to record it and make another video. Let's just have a quick burst of "We'll Meet Again." Are we ready? 1. Are we ready? You've got just a line or 2. We'll meet again. Don't know where, don't know when, but I know we'll meet again some sunny day. Here we go. I'll count you in on 3. 3, 2, 1. We'll meet again. Don't know where, don't know when, but I know we'll meet again some sunny day. God bless you. Stay in tonight. Have a good egg in a nest. I think let's have a prayer. Father, thank you for our church family. Thank you for our community. Thank you for the fun we can have, even in this time of lockdown. Pray your blessing on one another. Those who've been able to write on the chat, and those who haven't been able to but have been listening in. Keep us close to you. Keep us praying for one another. Keep us in your will. Thank you, Lord God, that at the end of the war, there was peace. And there was a start. There was a new start. Lord, we're looking for a new start from this pandemic. We're looking forward to that day when we can be together in church, when we can move more freely. Give wisdom to the government as they announce how quickly that's going to happen and how there might still be some restrictions. Be with our children who want to be back at school. Whether it's possible, we don't yet know. Lord God, we put all this into your hands. We look back and say, you're the God who's helped us in the past through people like Monty. You're the one who's been our help in ages past, and you are our hope for the years to come. So we pray your blessing on one another in Jesus' name. Amen. Thank you. Let me just thank the audience. Thank you, studio audience, representing the church behind you. God bless you. Have a great evening. You've been listening to what is it? AHW TV. AHW TV. Over and out for now. And God bless you.